Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new, and welcome to part 2 of the What Would Julie Do video. Basically what happened was that one of my YouTube subscribers posed a question to me, and they basically said that I should do a what would Julie do sort of situation where I had my Instagram followers or my YouTube subscribers that were makeup artists kind of let me know what situations they've either run across in makeup artistry or situations that might hypothetically happen, and what would I do in those situations. So I asked people on my Instagram through my little stickers button of scenarios that they've come across, and then I was going to go over them in my other video. However, a lot of people actually answered me after that video was made, so now I'm making a part 2, so I'm going to be covering the rest of the questions that I didn't answer in the first video. So if I did not answer your question or go over your scenario in the first part, definitely go ahead and stick around for this video because I am answering the rest of the questions here. I have actually a pretty good amount to still cover, and a lot of these are actually longer scenarios, and to be completely honest, I haven't read through any of these, so you're basically just going to be seeing my raw answers and reactions right here. I guess the first one is from a YouTube channel. So it says, what would you do if you get to a location and you don't have a foundation for a new client? What would you do to mix their perfect shade? I like watching artists use what they have to overcome problems. It's honestly a really hard one. So it kind of just depends what you have in your kit. This is the reason why I bring a whole bunch of foundation mixers with me. So I carry the Face Atelier foundation mixers. I carry the red shade, the yellow shade, and also the olive mixer too. So I can adjust whatever foundations that I have. If you do have some sort of mixers, then you can use those to mix. You can also use concealers to mix too. Basically, you just have to learn color theory and start kind of mixing and matching shades to get that person's foundation shade. I know that a bunch of artists have done this on YouTube before, but the Makeup Forever Flash palette, if you guys have ever seen that before, it basically has a whole bunch of primary colors in one palette. They're just a whole bunch of creams that you can work with, kind of like body paints. And you can literally use primary colors to make foundation shades. So for instance, you guys had lipstick shades that were all primary colors. You could literally mix those to use for foundations if you needed to. It would just kind of depend on what you guys actually physically have in your kit, depending on what you would use to correct the situation. Moving on to the next question, and it says, the hardest thing for me to repair is a wrong eyeliner. And I think they meant that they need help with some tricks on how to fix it, but I think the wording was a little bit funky, so I'm just gonna move on. But I'm guessing that you just mean like how to fix eyeliner if something happens with it. So it kind of, again, depends on the situation. People weren't super specific with these sometimes, so it kind of just depends on like what you did and how you messed up. I'm actually gonna do a whole entire video here pretty soon over how to put eyeliner and also do winged eyeliner on people, because I get a ton of questions about how to do it like pretty effortlessly, because I feel like there's this whole entire stigma and this really heavy fear over doing wing eyeliner on other people, because it is really intimidating if you don't know how to do it. But honestly, there's a really easy technique to do it, and some people just don't know that technique because they've never been taught it, so it just seems really intimidating. I will definitely go over that in a whole entire video, so I'm not going to cover that necessarily. But as far as getting your eyeliner even, I would honestly, before you even start doing eyeliner, have the client actually open their eyes all the way, because sometimes if you draw an eyeliner and their eyes are closed all the way and they maybe have hooded eyes or not a lot of lid space like me, it's really hard to figure out where to place the eyeliner or how much thickness to give it. Have them look down slightly and almost start drawing in where the eyeliner should be, and then just don't go thicker than that line, just so you can have it basically be shown on their lash line, but when they open their eyes all the way, you can still see it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it won't be covering their whole entire lid space. The other thing I'm guessing that they might also mean is maybe if like something goes wrong with it, or you just kind of get it in a place where it shouldn't be. But you can always use makeup remover for it. Just use an eye makeup remover with a Q-tip and just kind of wipe it away, dab it away, whatever. For instance, if your winged eyeliner isn't super sharp or anything, you can actually go in with either eye makeup remover or makeup remover wipe and kind of clean it up and crisp it up on the ends. Or you can also take a concealer brush with a little bit of concealer that you used on their face and kind of just go along and crisp it up too. There's honestly tons and tons of different ways that eyeliner can be corrected. It just kind of depends, I guess, how you messed up and where you made the mistake. So yeah, it's a very like generic sort of question, I feel like, so hopefully that answered a little bit better. But again, I will be doing like an in-depth video on an actual client of how you do winged eyeliner, so that'll be a little bit more helpful for you guys. Then I got the question of, I also had somebody that recently had someone kiss them on the cheek with lipstick that transferred onto their cheek. That was a first. Maybe certain situations like that where a client messes up something after you're done with them. You guys are coming up with really good ones. First of all, I'm really sorry this happened to you because I would be pissed. Like with a capital P. I don't know who has the audacity to go over to somebody when they have like maybe like a bright ass red lipstick or something and just goes and smooches them right on the cheek after they know that you spent all that time and the fact that they have makeup on already, and just do it. Like, I don't know. That just frustrates me on a different level. I guess if this happens to you, to be completely honest, there's nothing really you can do about it. I mean, if it's a nude colored lipstick and it kind of almost blends into their skin tone a little bit, you might just be able to go in with like translucent powder or something and kind of just like almost start like wiping it away. But to be completely honest, you might just have to remove that area and go in with something else. Cause like if it's like a red lipstick or something, it's really bright or like really dark or something, you're not going to be able to clean it up any other way. I'm kind of curious, this person that asked this, or I guess had this happen to them, let me know what you actually did to solve this, because I'm kind of curious to what your problem solving thing was, because obviously this happened to you. It's not like a hypothetical thing, so I kind of am just interested in like what you did to problem solve, but that's pretty much what I would do. Like there's really no getting around it. Next question is, what about separation of certain complexion products in the nose, specifically people with super oily noses or large pores? I've actually gotten this question a ton of times because like the nose is a very commonly wiped off or really easy area to like wipe off, if that makes sense, especially when the bride and the groom are like doing little nose kisses or like Eskimo kisses or something. Like it can rub off really easily, or people can wipe their nose and they just don't realize. So the biggest trick that I've ever found is to put down an eyeshadow primer here. So you can put down an eyeshadow primer, or you can also use the MAC paint pots, and those things are thick enough and dry down matte enough that they kind of like start filling in the pores, and they create obviously like a base for your eyeshadow. So they're also going to create a base for your nose as well. So if you guys have the MAC paint pots, you can use those. Otherwise, use some sort of tinted eye primer and just start sticking that right on the nose here. Let it dry for a little bit, and then you can go on top of it with your actual concealer or your foundation or whatever you're putting on there, and then set it really well with the powder. The eyeshadow primer is obviously meant to hold on eyeshadows, so it's also going to hold on any other product that it has on top of it. And it works a lot better than a face primer will. This next one is a very long one. Oh gosh, this is so long. Okay, so I'll put obviously all of these up on the screen, so like you guys have probably seen all these by now, but I'll try to move through this as quickly as possible because like this person gave me a whole entire scenario, it looks like. This person said, a problem I have personally run into was a mother of the bride who had very sparse eyebrows that were almost not there. I asked her if she would like them filled in or not. She said she didn't typically fill them in, but wanted to do it for her daughter's wedding, of course. Everyone also kept telling her to do it, so we did. But before filling it in, I explained to her how they would probably look really different than to what she was used to. I also let her know that it sometimes is shocking to go from nothing to actually being able to see them. She was okay with it, so we proceeded. I also did use a lighter shade and a lighter hand than I normally would. I showed her after I was done with it, and she said it looked fine. Finished the rest of the face, and she said it was fine, and everyone had complimented her. Moving on to the other party members, she came to me 3 times to say she didn't like her brows because she wasn't used to having brows. I lightened and brushed them out as much as possible without ruining the rest of her face. At the end of the day, I think it was really just that she was used to not being able to see them normally. They looked so good and made her whole face look different. Okay, that was a lot to get through, and my reading skills are not the best when I'm trying to like do this really quickly. Anyways, as far as that scenario, I feel like you honestly did the very best that you possibly could, because I would have done the same thing. I probably would have started brushing them out lightly. I would have maybe tried to disperse them and disperse the product as much as possible. And to be completely honest, you're just going to have people that are picky like that, but you pretty much did what I would do. But again, you're just going to have people that are pickier sometimes and just not used to wearing makeup on their face. Okay, the next question is, client doesn't know what she wants, declines any suggestions, photos, assumptions, love your channel. Thank you so much. As far as this scenario, I feel like honestly, this has never happened to me, and I'm guessing this is hypothetical because I can't imagine somebody who's not willing to take like any suggestions or photos or anything. I feel like that's a very, very drastic scenario. I feel like if I had anybody who was honestly like that, I'd probably be like, just do the makeup yourself then. Because to be completely honest, I've kind of learned not to take people's BS anymore. Like it's just kind of come down to that situation where I pretty much stand my ground. So if they're not going to work with me, I'm not going to work with them either. I really don't care at that point in time if they're being the pickiest person possible, because I'm in it for my own business and everything, and I need to get people done. At that situation, like, I would honestly kind of just decline services at that point in time and just say, like, if you're not going to take any of my suggestions, I don't think we can do this application, because I don't know what else to do. You feel like you're being rude about it, but you do have your own business to protect. You have yourself to protect. You're probably on a time crunch, as I said before, so there's only so much you can do with that situation. And just some people you just got to stand your ground with. Just like people who kick people out of restaurants, you can do the same thing and kick people out of your chair. Next one is, in case of time crunch, what steps would you skip but yet get the same desired look? This is actually going down to the fact that you can actually use less brushes and less products. So here's the thing. There's some products that can be used for multiple different purposes, and the less time you have to switch brushes and switch products, you're gonna save a lot of time. So there is times where I've had to get a makeup application done in like 20 minutes flat, and it was really hard to do and it stressed me out. But it is possible. Just use multitasking products and skip products that you don't necessarily need. For instance, a lot of people are like obsessed with color corrector. I don't know if people still are on the color corrector thing, but you don't need color corrector all the time. Like, I hardly ever use it, to be completely honest. Like, unless somebody actually has a real problem, or somebody has really dark circles underneath their eyes that concealer can't fix, like, you don't need color corrector all the time. It doesn't need to happen. Honestly, if somebody has really good skin, you don't even need a primer sometimes. You can just use a foundation and it holds on just fine. You don't need to use moisturizer necessarily. Like, it's just kind of like certain things like that you can skip sometimes. But it kind of just depends on what your client's skin type is like. You definitely need to prep accurately, but just some things like that you can skip. Like, for instance, you can use concealer for eyeshadow primer, one less product you have to use and one less product you have to grab. And then you can use bronzers for eyeshadows for transition colors, and like highlighters for eyeshadows too. I mean, you can use powders for like multiple different purposes. So basically just use like multitasking products in general and use your artistry skills to your advantage. That's honestly probably my best bet to condense timing and everything if you guys are in a real time crunch. So yeah, that would probably be my best advice there, is just to use like multitasking products and just try not to use as many brushes. Like, probably try to stick to like maybe a max of like 5 or 6 brushes if need be. That's face and eyes, by the way, just to not be able to have to clean and also pick up as many brushes. Okay, my next question is non-paying friends of clients wanting to use a lippy or brush. I had my brushes get stolen. First of all, I am so sorry that happened to you. It sucks when products get stolen. Luckily, in my 3 years of freelancing, I've never had any sort of product stolen or brushes stolen or anything. I feel like I hear about this so often with other makeup artists. And I think the best thing about this is like just to basically keep your makeup within like reaching distance of yourself, and just try to like almost have like peripheral vision going on to make sure nobody's like touching your stuff or anything. I've also had like little kids come and like try to take my stuff too, but usually I've gotten it back from like the parents or something. But to be completely honest, just tell them no. Like, if they want to use a brush, just tell them no. It's your property, it's your stuff. Like, I'm not your friend. I'm a professional and I'm doing a job right now. Like, I'm at work. So honestly, I would not even let them use a brush, to be completely honest, because it's your stuff and you're paying for them. If they break it or they lose it or something, or they don't give it back or they steal it, like, I mean, you're just out of that money and out of that brush, and it's like, you might as well just not have made any money that day. You know what I mean? Like, some brushes are super expensive and people just don't realize how expensive they are. Like, some brushes you pay, you know, like $30 for, and they could just walk off with that brush and, you know, there's half of a makeup application. You know what I mean? Here's another scenario with that. If you don't feel comfortable completely saying no to them, I would make sure that you're the one physically applying it and using the brush on them yourself. Even though they're not paying, I would rather personally sacrifice some of my time at the very end of all the applications to maybe stick a lip product on somebody or use it to like blend out eyeshadow or something, and then make sure I take home all my brushes, you know, because then it's like physically in my hand at all times. They're not walking away with it. It's not ever leaving your eyesight or anything. It's with you at all times. So I would make sure if anybody needs to use your stuff, just say, no, you can't really use it, but I can apply it on you if you want me to, and I can do it at the end of all these applications. I just need to get these clients done first. So you can do it that way. It's kind of more so like a compromise with them, and they also will probably feel very special that you're doing makeup on them too. Obviously, don't do anything like super complicated. Like you can't just be doing like their whole entire eyeshadow look with it or something, but at least if they want to have you do like something super simple, then just slap on an eyeshadow color really quick and then leave. Okay, I guess that was it. I thought I had more questions than that, but I guess that was all 8 of them. All right, anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I don't know how long this is gonna be because I've definitely made this into like 2 parts now, but when I edit it, it's definitely shorter, obviously. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video and love the answers, then definitely go ahead and give me a big thumbs up on this video, as well as also hitting that subscribe button. I do upload a ton of makeup artist related content on this channel, so if you guys are interested, definitely go ahead and subscribe to my channel down below. Also, I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.